Welcome back, boys and girls, for a prelude to my encounter down in the Sydney tunnels. After we had went down there that day we had escaped, whatever the fuck that thing was, to this day I have no clue. There's not even any references or pictures. Nothing could describe what we saw that day. I spoke to my grandfather that very night, and he told me all them years ago, back in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, all through the time period of the last 100 or so years, people have feared those tunnels. And there's not been anyone who has gone down there and not had anything happen. So, he told me about what him and his friends, about the same age as us, all of us, him and his friends went down there, and there was a group of 4 of them. You know, they packed their bags, they had their, they were carrying, they had their torches, a backpack full of supplies, food, drinks. They all had pocket knives, because back in the day, you weren't out there to stab somebody. You were there for, educational purposes of his time. He went down there with his friends, and the part that frightens me the most about that day, of my experience, is my grandfather had mapped out that exact route from that exact tunnel with his friends all them years ago. It's going back 80 years now. They didn't believe the stories either. They never heeded the warnings. Him and 4 of his friends, there was 4 of them, 3 of his friends, sorry, I fucked that up. They went down there, and they had the same idea about it that we did, that it was nothing to be afraid of, nothing to fear. That, it's just stories, it's just they don't want us in the tunnels. Maybe there's something cool down there, so they went down there. And they went a bit further than we did, beyond that room where we solved that. I can only describe it as a fucking monster. Even to this day, it frightens me. Anyway, they went further in, and there was blood etched on the walls, like thick. They thought it was red paint to begin with, but there was not in a way that someone would have painted anything. It's just splatter. So, it turns out it was actually dried blood. They went down there. They didn't see something like that. They saw something far worse. They found the remains of a dead man. Decayed. But only in halves. Pieces here, pieces there. And they came out of those tunnels terrified. They heard those same whispers that we did. They heard the same scream that we did, the howl of that fucking creature. I still hear it to this day, and I've never heard anything like it from any horror movie that I've ever watched, and it's the only genre that I love. So, his friends come out. Terrified, of course. They went to the local police. Did nothing. They basically said, you boys shouldn't have been down there. You're lucky. You were lucky. Now go home. Well, one of my grandfather's friends, little brother, he heard the story from him. Like my grandfather's friend told his little brother. The very next day, they were knocking at his door, asking had they seen him, the little brother. And none of them had seen him. the brother kind of knew, and the moment my grandfather, he heard that he was missing, he kind of knew. They never found him, and what's to make it worse, that same friend that told the little brother went back in looking for him, and he never came out either. I can only imagine, even the hairs on my arms standing up as I speak. The fear that those boys must have felt. But that brother that knew what was down there and went after his little sibling. Anyway, that was his story, and he said he'd never seen either of them again. And surely after their parents moved out away from Sydney and out of there, left. So there's still unresolved to this day of what or where they are. But I know. I had to cut the video short last night. I was going to read Let's Do the Part 2 last night, that after remembering Henrietta and asking her what happened to Tony, it broke me. And remembering my friend James, he just... I'm not here telling this story because I want you all to wonder or even think about going down there. Don't. Please don't. It's not worth what could be there. Even if it is still there, don't go down there. Okay? The big man Blade. Toughest motherfucker I've ever met, refused to even go near the entrance of that tunnel after what happened to him. So, in short, what we saw, none of us will forget. My two friends, the ones that didn't go back, refused to speak about it to me to this day. I'm only telling you because this is the only real encounter of something that I've actually been afraid of. I will never go back to that tunnel. Many of my homeless friends that I used to drink with waiting for those metal shows are gone. They went in and are gone. Blade, I ran into him years later. He remembered us, or me. He remembered me. And we sat and we spoke, and he said, so many more went in over the time that we last spoke. But he refused to even go sit in the place that he resided anymore because of his friends that are no longer here. There's not many things in life that I'm afraid of. Man with a knife, pick up one, you're even. Out in the dark, out in the middle of nowhere. Grab something. Go out there, whatever. But don't go into those tunnels. It's real. And it was only years after that I saw that movie, The Tunnel. And it fucking chilled me to the bone because of how realistic and how fucking they had to have spoken to somebody. Somebody who had experienced what we did. Somebody who did what we did. They had to have. There's no way it could have been a coincidence. Please, stay safe and stay out of those tunnels.